In the foothills of the majestic Himalayas, over 2,500 years ago, a prince named Siddhartha Gautama embarked on a profound quest for truth and understanding. Born into a life of immense privilege and luxury, Siddhartha was shielded from the harsh realities of life by the high walls of his father's palace. He lived within the palace walls, surrounded by opulence and comfort, completely oblivious to the suffering and pain that existed outside. However, fate had other plans for the young prince, plans that would change the course of his life forever. One day, Siddhartha ventured beyond the palace gates and was confronted with the stark and undeniable reality of human suffering. He encountered an old man, frail and bent with age, a sick man, writhing in pain, and a corpse lifeless and still. These sights shattered his sheltered worldview. These encounters ignited within him a profound sense of urgency and a burning desire to understand the nature of suffering and the path to liberation from it. Driven by this newfound purpose, Siddhartha renounced his royal life, leaving behind his family and the comforts of the palace, and embraced the austere life of an ascetic. He spent years practicing extreme forms of self-denial and rigorous asceticism, believing that mortification of the flesh would lead to spiritual enlightenment. However, after years of intense hardship and deprivation, he realized that this path of extreme asceticism was not the answer he sought. One day, while meditating under a Bodhi tree, Siddhartha experienced a profound and transformative awakening. He realized that the true path to enlightenment lay not in extremes but in the middle way, a path of balance, moderation, and deep understanding. From that moment on, he became known as the Buddha, the awakened one, sharing his insights and guiding others on the path to enlightenment. The Buddha's enlightenment revealed to him the Four Noble Truths, which form the foundation of Buddhist teachings. These truths are essential to understanding the core principles of Buddhism and provide a guide for living a life free from suffering. These truths offer a framework for understanding the nature of suffering and the path to its cessation. They serve as a roadmap for those seeking to attain inner peace and enlightenment. They are not meant to be accepted blindly, but rather to be investigated and experienced directly. Through personal practice and reflection, one can truly grasp their profound meaning. The first noble truth states that suffering, or dukkha, is an inherent part of life. It acknowledges that life, in its various forms, is often filled with challenges and discomfort. This suffering encompasses physical and emotional pain, as well as the dissatisfaction that arises from our attachment to impermanent things. It is a universal experience that touches every human being. The second noble truth identifies the root of suffering as craving, or tanha, our insatiable desire for sense pleasures, existence, and non-existence. This craving leads to a cycle of longing and disappointment. The third noble truth offers hope, stating that suffering can be overcome by extinguishing craving. By letting go of our desires, we can find true contentment and peace. This liberation from suffering is known as Nirvana, a state of perfect peace and liberation from the cycle of birth and death. It represents the ultimate goal of Buddhist practice. Finally, the fourth noble truth reveals the path to the cessation of suffering, the Noble Eightfold Path. This path provides practical steps for ethical conduct, mental discipline, and wisdom. The Noble Eightfold Path is not a linear progression, but rather a set of interconnected principles that work together to cultivate wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental training. It is a path of gradual transformation, requiring patience, dedication, and consistent effort. The path begins with right understanding, seeing the world through the lens of the Four Noble Truths. This understanding forms the basis for right thought, cultivating thoughts of loving kindness, compassion, and non-harming. Right speech encourages truthful, kind, and meaningful communication, while right action emphasizes ethical conduct in our daily lives. Right livelihood calls for engaging in occupations that do not harm ourselves or others. Right effort involves cultivating wholesome qualities and abandoning unwholesome ones. Right mindfulness emphasizes paying attention to the present moment without judgment, and right concentration cultivates a focused and clear mind through meditation. Central to Buddhist teachings are the concepts of impermanence, or anicca, non-attachment, or anatta, and mindfulness, or sati. Understanding these concepts is crucial to navigating the path to liberation. Impermanence reminds us that everything is in a constant state of flux. Nothing is permanent, from our thoughts and emotions to our physical bodies and the world around us. Clinging to the illusion of permanence leads to suffering. Non-attachment does not mean detachment from the world, but rather a shift in perspective. We can appreciate and engage with the world without clinging to it. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment with openness and non-judgment. It allows us to observe our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without getting carried away by them. By cultivating mindfulness, we develop a deeper understanding of ourselves and the nature of reality. Section 5. The Dharma Wheel Turns, the Spread of Buddhism. After the Buddha's enlightenment, he shared his teachings with the world, setting in motion the Dharma Wheel. Buddhism spread rapidly throughout India and beyond, carried by monks and lay followers who were inspired by its message of compassion and wisdom. As Buddhism traveled along the Silk Road and maritime routes, it encountered diverse cultures and belief systems. This led to the emergence of different schools of Buddhism, each with its interpretations and practices. However, all schools share the same core teachings of the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, and the importance of cultivating compassion and wisdom. Today, Buddhism is a global religion with millions of followers worldwide. Its teachings continue to offer guidance and inspiration to people from all walks of life. Section 6. Many Paths, One Destination. Exploring different schools of Buddhism. Over the centuries, Buddhism evolved into various schools, each with unique interpretations and practices. These schools have spread across different regions, adapting to local cultures and traditions. While they share the fundamental principles of the Buddha's teachings, they differ in their emphasis on certain aspects of the path. This diversity has enriched the spiritual landscape, offering various approaches to enlightenment. Theravāda Buddhism, prevalent in Southeast Asian countries like Thailand, Sri Lanka, and Myanmar, is considered the oldest surviving school. It maintains a close adherence to the original teachings of the Buddha. It emphasizes personal enlightenment through meditation, mindfulness, and strict adherence to monastic rules. The focus is on individual effort and discipline to achieve nirvana. Mahayāna Buddhism, dominant in East Asian countries like China, Japan, and Korea, emphasizes the bodhisattva ideal, where individuals delay their own enlightenment to help all beings achieve liberation. This school encourages compassion and altruism. Vajrayāna Buddhism, found in Tibet, Nepal, and Bhutan, incorporates esoteric practices and rituals to achieve enlightenment more rapidly. It is known for its rich symbolism and complex rituals. It emphasizes the role of a guru or spiritual teacher, and the use of visualizations, mantras, and rituals to purify the mind and access higher states of consciousness. This path is often considered the most mystical and secretive of the Buddhist schools. Section 7. Living the Dharma Practices and Rituals in Buddhism. Buddhist practices and rituals are not merely empty gestures, but rather skillful means to cultivate wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness in daily life. They provide a framework for integrating the Buddha's teachings into our thoughts, words, and actions. Meditation is central to Buddhist practice, cultivating a calm, focused, and clear mind. There are various meditation techniques, from mindfulness of breathing to walking meditation and loving-kindness meditation. Chanting, often in Pali or Sanskrit, is another common practice. Chants are not merely prayers but rather tools to focus the mind and connect with the teachings. Many Buddhists visit temples to offer incense, flowers, and light candles as a way to cultivate generosity and pay respects to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Some Buddhists choose to live a monastic life, devoting themselves entirely to the study and practice of the Dharma. Section 8. The enduring relevance of Buddhism in the modern world. In today's fast-paced and increasingly complex world, Buddhism offers a timeless path to inner peace, wisdom, and compassion. Its teachings on mindfulness, compassion, and the interconnectedness of all things are particularly relevant in addressing contemporary challenges. The practice of mindfulness, for instance, has gained widespread popularity as a way to manage stress, anxiety, and depression. The Buddhist emphasis on compassion and nonviolence offers a framework for resolving conflicts peacefully and fostering greater understanding between individuals and cultures. Furthermore, Buddhism's teachings on impermanence and non-attachment provide a valuable perspective in a world consumed by consumerism and the pursuit of fleeting pleasures. By embracing these teachings, we can find true contentment and liberation from the suffering that arises from clinging to impermanent things. Section 9. Conclusion: Finding Peace in a Changing World. The Buddha's teachings offer a path to liberation from suffering and the realization of our true nature. While the path may seem daunting at times, it is a journey worth embarking on. Every step we take towards greater understanding, compassion, and mindfulness brings us closer to peace. The beauty of Buddhism lies in its adaptability and relevance across cultures and time. Whether we choose to formally embrace the Buddhist path or simply incorporate its teachings into our lives, the wisdom of the Buddha can illuminate our way and guide us towards a more peaceful and fulfilling existence. As we conclude our exploration of Buddhism, remember that the journey to enlightenment is a personal and ongoing one. The teachings of the Buddha are not just ancient wisdom, but living principles that can transform our lives today. Whether you are seeking peace, understanding, or a deeper connection with the world around you, the path of Buddhism offers valuable insights and practices. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to comment your thoughts or questions. Share this with friends or classmates. Subscribe and tap the bell icon so you won't miss our future videos. Thank you for joining us on this journey. May you find peace and joy on your path.